Want to watch football without the restrictions of blackouts or cable? Check out expressvpn.com to help you get access to all the live games. Sign up today using the link in the description to get 3 free months. Yo, what up, Bolt fam? It's the director. Chargers fans, I'm sure you guys can probably tell through my voice. I don't have my hair done or nothing. No jersey. We got a pop filter on. I do not feel well. I tested positive for COVID like 3 or 4 days ago, and it has been super, super rough. But I'm pretty stubborn and maybe at times overly optimistic. And I felt, you know what? I can do a video today, dang it. I feel slightly better than I have the last couple of days. And it is Madden week, dudes. And I'm sorry to everybody. I love Madden. I can't. It's a vice. It's definitely a vice since I, became a football fan as a kid, and I do enjoy Madden. And you know what? It is Madden week, and the ratings have come out. So despite this COVID that's been going around the home lately, I wanted to get on today. I took some precautions. I may sound a little slower, a little more deep because of the illness, but I wanted to go over these ratings with you guys because every single year I'm both shocked and maybe disappointed, but also a little bit of excited, to prove the system wrong a little bit in Madden franchise. So that's what we're gonna do today, man. And I don't feel great. It's fine. I wanted to get on here. I cannot quit you guys. I cannot quit the Chargers or Madden despite anything. But I wanted to make it a nice, easy one today. So we're just gonna be going over all the ratings of all the players in Madden 23, which is coming out, I think it's just in a couple of weeks now, sometime in the middle of August, I think. And we're just gonna see, how we feel about the Chargers and their rankings and ratings in Madden 23. Before we do get started, guys, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this one. Lights, camera, action. Madden 23 and the Chargers rankings and ratings for every single player. Bear with me, guys. Please bear with me. I'm going to try to not edit this video as much as possible, just so it makes it easier on myself. I can get in, I can get out, get back in bed, and enjoy some more recovery time. Now, you guys can find all of the ratings right now on EA's website, and we're just going to jump right into the Chargers. So let's get here to team AFC West and Chargers. And I've seen a lot of ratings, right? I've seen a lot. I saw the Chargers or Justin Herbert's rating. I saw a couple of other ones, but for the most part, I haven't really stopped to take the time to check out, the rest of the roster. And I think at this time, all of them have been released. So we're going to go just position by position for the Chargers and kind of give our thoughts on every single one. Our disturbed and muffled and fatigued thoughts, we're gonna get them all on video today for you guys, the Bolt fam, and more for me. if there's one thing that I don't enjoy about quarantine, it is the boredom. So you guys are here helping me out a little bit too, giving me something to do while we're waiting for this thing to blow over. Now, starting here with the center position, Will Clapp. A lot of people know that he's kind of your hybrid backup guy, right? 59 overall. I can't really speak for that. The only thing I really know about Will Clapp is that he's got the best meme name ever, and I'm happy that he's on the team. Still, having a guy who's a hybrid center, never a bad idea. But Corey Linsley is probably front and center. The irony of this position that I wanted to highlight, 91 overall. Now, there's going to be some positions that I go through like their different ratings and stuff. I don't think I'm going to do that for the offensive linemen. So long as they're, close to what I think they should be, I think I can live with that. So Corey Linsley, 91 overall. I think that he's the best center in the game right now. So 91 might feel a little bit low considering that there's nobody higher than him. but still, I can't complain too hard. It's our center position. Corey Linsley's been a very good player for this team, and in Madden in particular, I don't know if we're looking at something super important when it comes to ratings from the offensive line. Now, our very first very exciting position here is going to be cornerback, featuring J.C. Jackson and a slew of other Chargers. And just right off the bat, dudes, I haven't seen the cornerback ratings, okay? So I actually did not have this information regarding J.C. Jackson. 90 overall. Now, J.C., I think, has been graded in terms of, turnovers and coverage as like a top 3 guy the past couple of years. He's been very, very good. 90 feels kind of low to me. And I have to assume that there's going to be other corners well above him. I think Jalen Ramsey should be somewhere close to a 99. If Jalen Ramsey's a 99, then JC, in my opinion, has to at least be a 93, a 94, somewhere in that range. I am actually going to skip over here to the coverage stats. There they are, as we go through this particular position, because it is rather important. Now, they did get one thing right in terms of his strengths, right? Very good in man press. That's kind of been one huge thing for JC in his career so far. A big reason why he's able to kind of, jump routes and get right in front of receivers for those interceptions. That's correct. His zone coverage, though, bit low. I feel like he's still very capable in zone as well. And I would actually put it at a 90, maybe even a 91, because all around, he's a very, very good all-around coverage cornerback. So right off the bat, little disappointed in JC. I would have given him a 93, I think, at the very minimum, especially in comparison to other corners in the league. Bryce Callahan up next. I guess 82 is fair. He is one of the better slot cornerbacks in the league, and he is a little bit older. If you guys don't know, in Madden, as you get a little bit older in your career, even if you're, Richard Sherman out there at cornerback, you're going to go lower, just because obviously players deteriorate just a little bit once they reach around age 30 and beyond. So 82, I think, is still fine for Bryce Callahan. Now, this is the one that kind of made me pause when I first opened up the corner position. 75 for Asante Samuel. No. If you guys know, for the Sim Sunday series, which I'm not sure if we'll be doing tomorrow. We'll see how I feel when I wake up tomorrow. I went through and I updated a lot of rankings for guys based on the last season. And Asante Samuel, I didn't make him like an 80 or anything like that. I think he's closer to an 80 in real life. But I did make him a 78 because I felt like he had some pretty good upside to develop into something pretty nice over the course of the 2022 season. 75, though, is really bad. 76 man, 74 play rec. Oh wait, I thought I was looking at play rec here for J.C. Jackson. No, that was his press, not his play rec. I wonder if they have their press in here. Either way, J.C. should be very nice in press as well. Not great coverage stats at all. If one thing, he should be a pretty decently fast dude. Oh man, all of these are very blurry. Okay, luckily it's the very first one. So Asante, 92 speed, 92 for JC, which isn't bad. So the quarterbacks all have themselves some nice speed, but Asante Samuel Jr. should definitely be at least a 78 in my opinion. At least that's what I put him in for the Sim Sundays. I feel like that's more than fair. The rest of everybody else looks fine. You got a slew of rookies in here, 65, both better than Keemon Hall, which is interesting. And then Michael Davis, which is a 74, which I also do feel is fair. I think that he could get a little bit better as the year goes on. All right, next up, let's move to the defensive line. And this is a pretty important position because as Chargers fans understand it, we got to get a lot better versus the run, and it's going to start with these positions here. Now, again, off the bat, and I'm glad I haven't seen these for the most part because it is shocking in some ways. The position itself and who is defined as defensive tackle is already interesting to me. So we have Austin Johnson, Christian Covington, Andrew Brown, and Atito Agbonya. I think those guys are very appropriate for the position, but we also have Sebastian Joseph Day. We've got Braden Fayoko, who is probably going to be on here as an end somewhere. I would think they put him here as defensive tackle. These look fine, right? Austin Johnson, maybe a little bit low. I would have put him a little closer to 76, 77, but I think 74 is fine. 71 for Christian Covington's okay, but defensive tackle, really not much to look into there. So long as they've got good, I think in this game, it's block shed that determines how good you are versus the run. So as long as Austin Johnson's got good block shed, I think we're fine. Next up, let's do free safety. We're just going down the list. It looks like they have them listed here alphabetically. So I think the big one for the defensive lines that I want to see and witness for the first time is going to be Sebastian Joseph Day. I think his rating is going to be pretty important. Here at safety, we got Nasir Adderley at a 75. I think he had a pretty decent year, so you could convince me that he's a 77 or 78, but 75 seems fine to me. I think this year he has a good shot at getting that rating a little closer to 80. And then you got JT Woods here, listed at free safety, which I do think is his natural position. But I do expect the Chargers to run him a lot at strong safety as well, just kind of all over the place. The big thing I love about JT, though, is that 94 speed, man. Very, very nice. This is the kind of stat, if you play franchise, that you look for right away. If they got themselves some nice speed, you can develop them into a very nice coverage guy along the way over the course of a couple of seasons. Now, his zone 70 is actually not bad. 62 man isn't great, but I think JT's in a really good spot to start off his career here with the Chargers in Madden, at least, especially when you consider in Madden as well. Another big thing that's kind of underrated is going to be their height, right? I'm not quite sure how many people play Madden in my community here, but height is pretty important in terms of being able to play against certain wide receivers and players. If JT Woods at 6'2" with 94 speed, he's going to look really, really nice. Maybe even as what we call a user. And what a user is the position or the player that you user on defense, kind of like your quarterback of the defense to make some big plays. As long as they got nice speed and nice height, you're looking pretty good here. Let's look at fullback. What did Xander Horvath get? Actually, I have no idea. It's probably going to be pretty low. He's going to start at a 65 overall, which again is fair. You're very rarely going to find fullbacks, in and around the range of 80 in this game, just because the fullback position isn't something too crazy. But I mean, a big thing that kind of sticks out to me right away here is the 85 speed. That is actually kind of insane, dudes. That's pretty fast for any fullback in the game, and that I think is pretty reflective of his RAS score, right? Kind of a physical freak, and this definitely does show us, at least in Madden, that he's capable of a 91 acceleration too. I mean, if this was just strictly Madden, right? You're constructing the roster strictly for Madden, Gabe Neighbors would have lost this competition a long time ago, because these attributes here are very, very nice for fullback. We won't spend too much time on that position, but very cool to see how fast that dude is. Next up, let's go halfback. Ooh, this one's going to be exciting. I actually have no idea what Isaiah Spiller's is yet. 73. Okay, 73, not bad. If you play a franchise and you hit on a running back in round 4, 73 overall, you're not too upset about it. Austin Eckler, though, 88. I feel this every year. I don't know. I don't think there's been a year where I felt like Austin Eckler has been appropriately rated. I think that 20 touchdowns and an insane season last year more than deserves a 90 rating, right? I think 90 was kind of my expectation for Austin Eckler this year. 88 is slightly disappointing, but 91 speed, 92 excel. He's going to be a pretty decent, receiving back as well as expected. He'll be fine in Madden. There's other things in Madden that you have to take into account why Austin Eckler's not going to perform so great. It's mainly due to his size. Guys like Derrick Henry are really insane in Madden because they can fall forward, they can push through tackles. Austin Eckler has to be shifty and get around defenders. And I think this could do it, but I'm more just disappointed in his rating. Now, Isaiah Spiller, 88 speed, is actually a little shocking to me too. I was expecting somewhere around 86, 87. So 88 is actually not too bad. He's not the fastest guy in the world, But he's not the slowest either. So I think 88 is actually pretty appropriate. And then 73 overall is not bad either. Joshua Kelly still at a 70. I would peg him a little lower as probably 68. And then Larry Roundtree feels fine to me at 65. Next up, let's move on to kicker. Let's grab punter while we're at it. Just get both of those special teams positions out of the way. We got Dustin Hopkins, J.K. Scott, James McCourt. Now, I do fully expect J.K. Scott to win this battle. Funny enough, in Madden last year, I went and added J.K. Scott just to rebuild that Chargers 2022 team, and he's got what's called star dev, which means somebody somewhere saw potential in the guy, which is kind of cool, but nothing much to see there. I think 72s across the board is fine. We're not really hurting too bad for those kicker and punter positions in Madden in particular. Now, left defensive end, let's grab the right one while we're at it here too, right defensive end. Let's just get the defensive ends here on the board for us to dissect a little bit. So Sebastian Joseph Day starting off the game as an 81. I'll be honest, dudes, I can kind of dig that. You know what I mean? I think in my roster, I made him a 79 or a 78, just out of the 80 territory. But 81's actually pretty great. I'm sorry, I told myself I wouldn't do this, but I really want to see some of his ratings because he's going to be very important in terms of defense against the run for the Chargers. Maybe I passed a lot of them. Here's some 80s in here. Block shed, that's the one I wanted. So block shed and pursuit both at 83, and then play rec at 90. He's going to be very nice versus the run. I like that. Sebastian Joseph Day, to me, left end is completely fine. So you can run him at defensive tackle if you want, but that's not too bad. The one I would say in here at left end here is Braden Fayoko, who's going to be backing him up, it looks like. I think you move him to defensive tackle, and I think his block shed is much too low. I think he was the -- 1 rated defensive tackle versus the run last season. He needs to be in the high 70s, if anything. So that needs to be fixed. Whenever I start a franchise I'm super serious about, there are things that bug me so bad that just don't do a team or a player justice, and I go through and I fix it at first. And no, I'm not going to make Fayoko like a 75 overall, but I have to get that block shed rating up. That's one of those things that I will be nitpicky about, that Braden Fayoko deserves much higher block shed because of his performance last season. Outside of that, Morgan Fox at a 73. I think that's completely fair. I think he's going to do very good in real life and probably get that rating up. He saw a career high 6 sacks the last time he was coached by Brandon Staley. I think Morgan Fox is going to get himself a nice season with the Chargers this year and really overtake this position by Jerry Tillery, which at this moment, it looks like he already has. He will be the starting right end for players off the bat day one, as Jerry Tillery has fallen to a 71. So everything here minus the Fayoko thing, I can dig that. It looks really good. It's a nice starting point for all of those players. All right, next up, after left defensive end, we're going to do left guard. And let's do both the guards at the same time, actually. I should have done this with the offensive lineman. I think I still have a chance to, right? Let's get both the guard positions in here. Now, starting with Matt Filer, who's going to be rated above everybody else by a lot at a 78. I think that's great. I think that's about where I expected. Zion Johnson, however, I know he's a rookie, and some people say, you can't get upset about rookies. Rookies, definitely don't reflect on how they're going to do in real life, especially with Rashawn Slater, who I think was like a 75 or a 76 last season. 73 is still too low, even for a rookie. I think Zion Johnson deserves to be a 76 off the bat. I think he's one of the most ready to play day one, week one of the NFL. And he should be very, very serviceable. And a 76 would reflect that. 73 more reflects a guy that should be good. You're expecting to be good, but there's almost not equally, but there's a good chance that they could bust as well. And that's not who Zion Johnson is. Zion Johnson should be at least a 76, in my opinion. Jamari Sawyer, you could almost say the same thing about. I know we got him in the 6th round, and it's tough to justify a high rating for any 6th round player, but I was thinking more of a 69, even 70 rating for Jamari Sawyer, because he's one of those guys that you hit on in the later rounds of the draft, which we call a steal, right? And I think a steal could be reflected by around a 70 maybe a 69. So I'm gonna say Zion should be a 76. Jamari should be a 69. Everybody else seems okay. I would put Braden Hymus at a 62. Other than that, guards, not too bad. And again, offensive linemen, I maybe that's a harder position for these guys to rate, but they always seem a little bit off to me. After left guard, we got the outside linebackers. We got to do both of them at the same time, right? Let's get the Mac and the Bosa on the screen. I think I know Mac's. I don't know if I know Bosa's. Okay, so very similar. So I knew Mac was a 92, which I think's a little low, but he did miss like half the season last year, and that will happen sometimes. Joey Bosa, I do feel is low. I think he should be a 93. I know his brother rated at a 94, Nick Bosa, and I don't think Nick Bosa is better than Joey Bosa. If anything, they're very similar. If you have to make Nick Bosa better in Madden, it shouldn't be by a difference of 3. It should be like 1. I would make Joey Bosa a 93, making him probably one of the highest rated players on the Chargers for Madden 23. Still Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. Again, 85 speed, 81 speed. That's totally fine from the outside linebacker spot. And with the Chargers playbook, you're going to see him at edge more than you're going to see him playing, in coverage and stuff in real life, at least. I don't know how they're going to do it in Madden. They usually kind of mess it up, but these are the ratings that are kind of important for the Bosa and the Mac, right? Khalil Mack with 89 block shed is insane. That means he's going to play against the run really well, but not having a rating above 90 for power or finesse moves is criminal. I hate that. Khalil Mack, in my opinion, should have at least 90 or 91 power move, and then you can talk me into 89 finesse move. These need to be bumped up. That's not correct right there. I don't like those. For Joey Bosa, power move at 87. That could be fine. 96 finesse move. That's what I'm talking about, though. He's going to get some nice plays using that finesse move stat. With 84 block shed, he should be decent against the run too. So I'm disappointed in Khalil Mack. I think he's too low, but more specifically, I think the stats that reflect his play are criminally low. I think these need to be a little bit higher to reflect, because in Madden there are things called thresholds, right? And certain stats don't really work as well unless they get to a certain number. And 90 is what you want for these two stats. He should play one of these at least at a very high level, and that should be power move for him, where it is, similarly reflected for Joey Bosa with the finesse. And then the other guys, Kyle Van Noy, he's going to start off as a 78. I think that's fine. I think I started him as an 80, so that's actually not too far off. I still think he's a very good player, and I think this could go up. I think he's going to have himself a nice season. His stats over here don't matter as much. 77 power move is kind of important because he will be playing backup edge, but he'll also be playing inside linebacker a little bit too. And 83 speed is definitely going to get the job done from that spot. Jamal Davis is actually kind of a surprising guy here that I think you're going to see a lot of in Madden as a developmental guy too, depending on his age, because these are nice stats to start with. 86 speed, 89 excel. Those are things to work with. Okay, so Bosa and Mac, a little disappointed just because they kind of messed up on some of the stats. Other than that, it's not too bad. Let's get the tackles out of the way here real quick. I am interested to see what they did with Rashawn Slater in his year too. He's got to be in the 80s. 84 for Rashawn Slater. I can dig that. And 75 speed from the left tackle position is stupid fast, guys. You have no idea. That's ridiculous. You could run him at tight end. Won't take too much of your time here with this position. 63 for Trey Pipkins. That's fair. I think we're hoping that he develops in real life something that would reflect more of a 70 to 72 rating. I think that's kind of in the range that Chargers fans are hoping for. But these other guys, right tackle Storm Norton, that's fair. Maybe even a little high, if I'm being honest. And then Foster Sorrell, 55. Okay, tackles don't look bad. We're really hoping Trey Pipkins can pan out, though. He needs to be a guy that develops quick this season. And hopefully this season, he's sort of figured it out. Middle linebacker. Oh, we're almost a quarterback here, too. I know the quarterback rating, but I want to see how they did his ratings because I do think they already did him dirty. Drew Tranquil, 77. That looks great. Kenneth Murray, 73. I think is fine. We were all hoping he'd be like in the 80s at this point, but I think he's got some some bouncing back to do this season. I think Murray, I think Tranquil at 87 speed is great. I think Kenneth Murray should be like 89 speed. I think his speed is actually really, really nice in real life. And I think they should at least reflect that even with the lower rating here. Everybody else looks fine too. Troy Reader, as expected, maybe 70, I thought, but under 70 is actually not too shocking either. And then these backup guys, not too bad. So middle linebacker, nothing too shocking there. Let's do the quarterback position now that we're here alphabetically with Justin Herbert. Now, Herbert, right off the bat, the biggest thing that bothers me about this rating is, or I already felt it was too low, but this puts him at number 7 at the quarterback position, right? And I think I would have been happier with this rating if him and Joe Burrow were switched. Now, it doesn't mean I don't love Joe Burrow. I think Burrow is an incredible quarterback. He's one of my favorite in the league outside of Justin Herbert, as a matter of fact. But I think the fact that he went to the Super Bowl, and you're going to see this every single year, it does boost their stats regardless of who else is there. And that's why we're seeing Joe Burrow at a 90 and Justin Herbert at an 88. We didn't make the playoffs, but still, he needs to be top 5. And I think it's going to happen not even too long into the football season. I think Justin Herbert does rise. Everybody else, Tom Brady's going to get it because he's Brady. Aaron Rodgers is fine. It should be Josh Allen at like number 2, and then Aaron Rodgers at 1. And then Patrick Mahomes can stay 3, and then Tom Brady at 4, and then Justin Herbert. And actually, I would put Burrow at 6 and not Dak Prescott. Dak needs to go a little further down, then probably move Matt Stafford up and Lamar Jackson up. Other than that, though, let's take a look at some of his individual stats, because what's almost even more important than the stat is how he's going to play, right? And Justin Herbert, dudes, when talking about drafting the perfect quarterback, right, in NFL or in a Madden franchise or whatever, there are a few things to look out for. And the first one is going to be your speed. 84 speed for quarterback, that's just great. That's just fine. You're going to look for awareness. 87 awareness is a good starting point. 96 throw power, though, is really good. It's stupid good. That's one of the best you're going to find in any draft. Then comes the accuracies. And just like we were talking about thresholds with other positions, these are extremely important for your quarterback. So let's see if we can find him here. Here are your accuracies: short, medium, and deep. And he hits them all. Now, the thresholds are a little bit different when it comes to accuracies. Short accuracy, you want, I think, around 80 in that rating to play very similar to some of the higher ratings. So 91's overkill. That's great. Medium, I think it's 85. At one point, it was 88. It could be 88. If that's the case, that would suck. But I think it's 85, in which case he should be fine. Either way, 86 a fine starting point. But this right here, throw accuracy deep, that's usually the stat that's the hardest to get to build on, right? A lot of quarterbacks start in like the low 80s, sometimes the high 70s, which is really tough to develop. Justin Herbert, that's the threshold. 90 means you're going to have really nice passes deep. And that's very reflective of the player. And I can work with that. So that's a very, very nice head start for anybody playing Madden 23. Play action 88 is great. And throwing the run at 90 is exceptional. That's also very, very nice. So when it comes to the ratings, Justin looks as perfect as you're going to get from a quarterback with the 88 rating. Would I have rated him an 88? No. I think at minimum, with the back-to-back years that we've seen, Herbert needs to be a 90 at this point. And that's really easy to do. You can boost his medium accuracy a little bit. You can boost some of these other things a little bit that don't affect him too much. But I think 90, out of respect to who he is as a player, is the very, very minimum for me that he needs to be in Madden 23. 88, kind of close with the ratings themselves, but they missed the bar for me there. All right, next up, I think we got almost everything. We'll just kind of wrap it up with these last few positions bundled up. Let's do strong safety. Actually, let's do strong safety, and then we'll bundle up the tight end and the wide receivers, because this one's also important. Did we do free safety? Yeah, we did, Nasir Adderley. Darwin James at a 93. Also a little low for me. I think 93 is fine. Don't get me wrong, especially with 91 speed. He's going to look great. Again, he's 6'2", so he's going to play great. But I think 94, 95 is more reflective of him as a player. I think he's the best safety in football, right? But again, another big determining factor as to, if they did him justice are his stats. And again, they kind of messed him up. 88 zone, 87 man, 90 play rec. He should have pretty nice hit power too. These look okay, right? But the thresholds are so important. They need to be at 90. Now, I think 87 man coverage is fine. I think Darwin is great in man, but he's not especially elite. He is elite, however, in zone. They needed to make this a 90. So if I were to change one thing on his stats, I would have made him 90 zone. You could talk me into 88 man, but I think 87 is fine. And then everything else looks okay, right? But I think a 94 would have done him better justice. 93 is not bad, but those thresholds are so important, dude. And that is a little bit disappointing that he just missed the mark on the zone. And then finally, wide receiver, tight end. I wonder what they gave our new tight end, Gerald Everett. Start with the top dogs here, and Keenan Allen. They always do Keenan Allen dirty on the speed. Actually, in years past, it's been worse than this. So 88, I'll probably take that. Mike Williams should be a little higher in the speed. Maybe 90 is more reflective of him. Just separate him from Keenan Allen a little bit more if you're going to be doing this with the Chargers receivers. 85 speed's not bad. 91 to 86 is actually pretty fair. I think last year he was a 93. I maybe would have made him a 92, but 91 is still great. It's still fine. The attributes you mainly want to look for in a wide receiver are the speed and route running. So we know the speeds here, and I think the route running is going to be just fine for guys like Keenan Allen. That's like his biggest strength as a football player. I think I passed him right here. Catching traffic, there it is. Short route running, and they have him separated here, which is stupid, so we're not going to look at all of them. His catching's great. His route running's great outside of deep, which is kind of shocking to see for Mike Williams now that I'm looking at it. He should have much better deep route running. He's a great deep threat. And then short at 84. We won't look at those just because EA has them kind of in a weird spot to look at all of them at the same time. But Mike Williams, I would have made him, I think 86 is fair. I think I made him an 87 in our sim series. I actually did make Keenan a 92, so I was just off by 1 on both of these. But I can live with those ratings. Gerald Everett at a 76, also fair. I think I made him a 78 in our Sim Sundays, with very similar stats across the board. He's been insane, dudes. If you've been watching Sim Sundays, Gerald Everett has been going crazy. He's been one of the biggest highlights of the series so far. And I wonder if it has to do something with Madden, but I think also I'm very high on him in real life. 76, I can live with that. Jalen Guyton, 93 speed. That's great. He's going to do great for the Chargers in real life too. Deandre Carter with 89 speed. I would have made that 90. He's going to be our returner. Josh Palmer at 71. I maybe would have given him closer to Jalen Guyton at 73. And then the rest of everybody looks fine. No, this isn't good here though. 67 for Donald Parham is not going to do for me. Donald Parham needs to be at least a 70 at this point. He's been so good the last couple of seasons. Yeah, he got injured last year, but he needs to be at least a 70. I think that'll be the last, bad taste in my mouth as far as bad ratings for positions there. Yeah, I think that'll do it for all the positions. Yeah, Donald Parham needs to be at least a 70. I think I have him as a 71 in our Sim series. But there you have it, guys. Longer video today. Normally I'm a little louder and I'm a little quicker with getting out my thoughts and information, but I hope you guys bore with me in this one as we're just kind of pushing through the COVID. I'm gonna throw the pop filter in the washer and just kind of get something out there today, because I don't want to miss out on the hype for the Chargers Madden ratings, because there are a lot on here that I do agree with. There's more that I disagree with, but it's actually not as far off as I was thinking. I think the top ones, I forgot the question in the comments, so I'll ask it now. If you guys made it here to the end of the video, bravo, you're amazing human beings. You're listening to some sick dude for half an hour. Question in the comments, which rating disturbs you the most when it comes to Madden 23? I think, honestly, there's big names for me. Justin Herbert's a big one. Khalil Mack was kind of big for me, and Joey Bosa. But I think the biggest one for me actually is going to come from J.C. Jackson. I think J.C. Jackson deserves a much higher rating. 93, 94, somewhere around there. I think he deserves to be one of the top cornerbacks in the game. And I hope he proves them wrong very soon. So let me know in the comment section which one disturbed you the most. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me and indulging and bearing with me in this video. I'm hoping so much that I start feeling better in the next couple of days, so that we can continue Sim Sundays and the rest of what we have planned as far as content very soon, because we're running out of off season. It's exciting, but I have a ton of stuff that I want to get out there before we get closer to kickoff. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. Hit us up with a like and sub on your way out if you did enjoy this content. We'll see you next time. And as always, bolt up and stay frosty. Let's get better, Director. Let's make it quick.